You know how there are some works of art we feel like we just know? The ones we've studied inside and out? Well, what if they're holding secret messages for us right now? Urgent warnings that we've been completely overlooking for decades. It's a wild thought, but let's dive in.
I mean, you hear this stuff every day. Turn on the news, scroll through your feed, it's everywhere. The idea that our planet is in real trouble. Scientists are sounding the alarm about what one paper calls nature's untamable wrath. And it's easy to think, okay, this is a modern problem. It needs modern solutions.
But what if that's not the whole picture? What if one of the most powerful, most chilling warnings about exactly what we're facing today didn't come from a lab report, but from a poem? A poem written over 130 years ago.
So yeah, today we're going to peel back the layers and uncover a prophetic warning about our relationship with the natural world hidden in plain sight inside a truly celebrated work of literature. Our guide on this is the legendary Bengali poet and philosopher Rabindranath Tagore. Back in 1893, he wrote a poem called Sonar Tori, which means the golden boat. And for over a century, it's been praised for its beautiful, tragic themes, but a new way of reading it suggests there's something way, way deeper going on.
Just to put this in perspective for you, he wrote this in 1893. This is long before anybody was using terms like climate change or ecological crisis. And get this, just 20 years later, he would win the Nobel Prize for his work. So we're talking about a true literary giant.
All right, to get to that hidden message, first we have to understand the story on the surface of the poem, because it's pretty powerful stuff on its own.
So the poem opens with this really intense, almost threatening scene. You've got a lone farmer sitting totally isolated on a riverbank. The clouds are gathering, the sky is rumbling, rain is pouring down. You can just feel the tension building.
And here's what's so powerful. The farmer has just finished his work. He's surrounded by piles upon piles of golden grain, the fruit of all his labor. But he's trapped. The river is flooding. The current is described as being sharp as a razor's edge. He has everything he ever wanted, but absolutely nowhere to go.
Now, for over a century, people have understood this poem in a very specific, tragic way. Let's look at that traditional interpretation, the one that's been taught for generations.
So the classic view sees the farmer as a symbol for any creator, an artist, a poet, a musician. That golden harvest of his, that's his life's work. A mysterious boat shows up, which represents time or history, and it collects all of his creations. But, and this is the kicker, there's no room on the boat for the artist himself.
The final lines are just haunting. His work is saved for eternity, but he, the person who made it all, is left all alone on the shore to face the storm. It's this powerful thought about art and mortality. But what if we've been missing the bigger picture this whole time?
This is where our whole perspective is about to shift. Because recently, scholars have started looking at Tagore's work through a modern lens, and what they're finding is, honestly, startling. And that lens is called eco-criticism. It's really just the study of how literature talks about the physical environment. It asks us to look at how nature is shown in these stories and what that might tell us about our own world.
So, let's reread the poem with that idea in mind. What happens if the farmer isn't just one artist, but he's a symbol for all of humanity, and his golden harvest isn't art, but all the resources we've taken from the earth? Suddenly, the entire poem transforms.
Let's try to decode the poem's symbols through this new environmental perspective. The story itself doesn't change, but the meaning becomes a chilling, chilling prophecy.
So here's the key. The farmer is mankind. The golden harvest is everything we've built by using up nature's resources. That razor-sharp river and the storm clouds, that is nature's fierce, destructive response to us going too far. And the boatman? He's just an indifferent, non-human force of nature.
In this reading, humanity, the farmer, sees the destructive consequences coming. We desperately load everything we've made onto the boat, and then we beg for salvation. We're basically saying, I've given it all back to you. Now be kind. Take me too.
And the response from nature is absolutely chilling. The boatman, after taking all of our creations, our cities, our technology, our art, simply says, no room, no room, the boat is small.
Think about that for a second. That's the devastating conclusion. The boat, which is the ongoing flow of the natural world, it preserves the products of our civilization, but it has no space left for the species that caused this profound imbalance in the first place. Humanity is left behind on the shore to face the storm it created.
And this isn't just some random interpretation someone came up with. This whole eco-critical reading is deeply, deeply rooted in Tagore's own philosophy, a worldview that was just stunningly ahead of its time.
It's fascinating when you compare Tagore's holistic worldview with the dominant Western ideas of his time. You had philosophers like Descartes and Kant who often saw nature as basically a machine, a resource for humans to use. But Tagore, coming from Eastern spiritual traditions, saw it completely differently. He believed humans aren't separate from nature, we are a part of it. For him, nature was a conscious, living thing that demanded our respect and harmony.
And he wasn't against development or progress, but he argued that it had to be sustainable. As early as 1916, he was writing about how humanity's greed was causing environmental imbalance. He saw the root cause clearly, our desire to exploit rather than to coexist. I mean, that's a critique that could have been written this morning.
It really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? If a 130-year-old poem can hold such a precise and urgent warning for the 21st century, what other profound messages are just lying dormant in the art, music, and literature we cherish? What else have we been missing?